For this month, I decided I want to have a goal of reading every day for 30 days, hopefully. I know my hair looks absolutely insane. I put it in braids last night. I don't know what happened, but we're starting the challenge anyway, so please ignore it. I used to read excessively in elementary school, but once I got to high school, it kind of died out a bit. My first book for this month is Wuthering Heights. The funny thing is, I'm kind of hoping that I don't enjoy this book because I only have 3 books with me at university. All the rest of my books were back home. So if I read these too fast, we're gonna run out of books and I'm gonna have to go to the university bookstore. And let's just say they don't have a wide selection of non-essential textbooks. So we're gonna hope I hate this. I'm hoping that maybe I should have read another Jane Austen book first, but you know what? I've heard Wuthering Heights. Actually, you know what? I haven't heard it's very good. I've heard very mixed reviews on this book. So we're gonna hope I'm on the positive end of the spectrum. I used to absolutely adore fantasy and dystopia, but I don't know what happened. That love just died out, and I haven't been able to find a genre that I've really loved since then. I've read classics like self-help books, any books that my parents would give me, like those really old, like cringy love stories with the guy with like his shirt off on the front. I've read those. Didn't really enjoy those either. So my goal is to find the genre that I really love once again, so that way I can like really get into reading and just stick to reading, because I really want that to be one of those things that I love again.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm joining Bronwyn with her reading challenge this month. Usually on a regular basis I read 1 to 2 books a month, but I usually get reading binges where I'd stop reading and for a couple months, and then all of a sudden I just want to read and I read 5 books in a row. It depends if I have nothing to do. In terms of genres, I usually read action, fantasy, and romance. So I'm a real fan of Harry Potter and Percy Jackson series. Anything Greek mythology I find really interesting. So my goal for this reading challenge is to read 2 books. I might go over, we'll see, 2 books at the minimum. And the book I'm going to be reading first for this challenge is called The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I don't know much about this book. It's in the fantasy genre, but I hear it was really popular when it came out in 2019, so we'll see how it goes.
I just finished Wuthering Heights. I can't even express how much I hated and loved this story. The characters were detestable. I can't even express to you how much I hated these characters. Like, I could barely get through it because I hated them so much. But I think Emily Bronte made it so that you hate the characters, because there's no way she could have made this being like, yeah, everyone's gonna love them. Like, no, that just wasn't it. But the story, just like, it made up for it. It was so well written. It's about these 2 families and just like 2 generations. Extremely well done. I was like, whew, when I finished that, I was like, it seems like it's like a crazy story, but it's so not a crazy story. I don't even know how to explain it, because obviously I don't want to give any spoilers. But yeah, no, I hated it and I also really liked it. So I don't know whether to give this a 1 star or a 5 star. So we're gonna give it a 3 star because that's the best I can do here. I just finished the selection. I'm rating it 4 stars right off the bat because the first 100 pages of the book, maybe, I absolutely I hated it. I didn't like it. I was going into this book assuming that I wouldn't like it because, I don't know, the past YA books I've read with a lot of like romance and blah 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 kind of got on my nerves. But this is like literally The Bachelorette in a book. So I was like, if any book is gonna get on my nerves, it's gonna be this one. So I was like, I wanted to try it though, just to see what it was like. So the first 100 pages, I hated it as much as I thought I would. The main character's name is America. Sorry to anyone whose name is America, but can you get a more obnoxious name? I'm sorry. She was like complaining about how like she had to help her family out by just joining the selection or something. I'm like, girl, go for a week and go home. Like, come on. Anyway, after 100 pages, I was like, oh my god, am I actually really liking this? And then I ended up finishing this book at 4 a.m. and I started it the same day. Read this book in like 8 hours and I was like, okay, turns out I really liked it. It's reading this versus reading Wuthering Heights, like right before this, because Wuthering Heights was like everything you didn't want in a story thrown into each other, but the writing's so good that you just like have to like it. And this book, it's like everything you ever wanted in a romance book is right there. And it's happening every 5 seconds. Everything you want, it's fast paced, everything's going pretty much great. There's a couple like bumps in there, but you like the bumps. Did I just say that? And then, but the writing, I have to admit, like after reading Wuthering Heights, this writing is like preschool level, but I guess this book is for like, what, 12-year-olds? So like, I don't know how I can complain about that. So honestly, it's like, it's so bad it's good. It's like when you watch The Bachelorette and like you watch it because like it's funny and like it's ridiculous, but at the same time you know on the inside that like even though it's so bad, it's like you enjoy it. So yeah, no, 4 stars, pretty good book. On to the next one.
So for this month's reading challenge, I was only able to read one book, unfortunately. The book I did read was The Midnight Library. I typically don't read books like these. I usually read fantasy and action genres. This is more philosophy and like the way of life. But I did enjoy it. I'd rate this book a 8.5 out of 10.
Hello, so we have reached the end of this reading challenge. I have been able to read 3 books this month. I made the terrible mistake of putting this challenge in the middle of midterm season. So kudos to Lauren for continuing this, even though we were in the middle of like a terrible season of exams and stress and breakdowns. So I'm amazed that we were able to, you know, even finish a book because textbooks, but the last book I finished was The Elite. I didn't like it very much. The characters were really getting on my nerves. I like it's better than most YA romances I've read so far. I actually really enjoyed like the 2 books I read. I think I wanted to read the one. I think that's the last book in the series. I don't actually have the physical book, so maybe I'll pick that up later. But I think I'm gonna rate The Elite 3 stars. That seems pretty good for this book. I've heard the last one is a lot better, so we'll find out. Yeah, it's been pretty good. I enjoy reading. I don't think I enjoy reading as much as I did when I was younger, but I still want to keep trying. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, and see you next time. Bye!